Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. I'm today sitting with Steve Jobs and Neelam, and Neelam is a lady from FATA, which stands for Federal
Federally Administered Tribal Areas.
So when we hear the tribal areas, a lot of people think that tribal area would be a place where there's no law and order, and where all the mess ish things are happening, like the terrorism and all that sort of things are happening over there. But Neelam seems to be a highly educated person, and I just met her. Neelam, tell us who you are. Where did you get educated?
I'm Neelam Azman. I'm from South Waziristan Agency, but I currently work as program manager at Base Camp Peshawar. I did Masters in Development Studies from Institute of Management Sciences, and I've done Masters in Public Administration from Ohio State. And I'm a Fulbright scholar. So that's more or less academically who I am and what I do.
Why did you become the way you are? Like, what were the circumstances with other women in FATA don't have, which you got, so that you became a Fulbright scholar, and other women, gazillions of them, are not?
So I would say my parents, primarily because one of my parents were educated. So my father was educated. He could see the benefit of education. He definitely had to struggle a lot. And my mother, although she wasn't educated, she believed in his vision. And she had her own vision for her daughters and her sons to be educated. So their struggle for education, their struggle for coming out of a village where my father was the only person who was educated, with all the stigma attached to education, all the problems attached to education, all the investments that they had to put into their 7 children's education rather than buying a house or a car or whatever, was something that I feel like is the main reason why I made it where I am, and a lot of women don't.
And other siblings, the other six siblings which you had, all were also Fulbright scholars?
So one of them is a Fulbright scholar, one of them is an HEC scholar. She is an assistant professor in France. One of them is an engineer, one of them is an assistant professor here. So almost all of us are, we have done 18 years of education, all of us. Some are pursuing PhDs. So we're all educated, all aspiring to be PhDs. So hopefully we'll have 7 PhDs in South Waziristan soon.
Is that all? I mean, are there not? And I'm pretty sure there are lots of others.
A lot
South
of other
Waziristan?
PhDs?
Yes. No? I don't know
So-
anything about the place, so
Okay, so there would
I would not
I
even
would
know where
say-
it exists on the map. You know, that's how illiterate I am when it
about
comes
South
to
Waziristan.
FATA. You know,
FATA
in
overall.
general.
I think the thing with FATA is that a lot of people confuse it with KP, because FATA is predominantly Pashtun and then KP is predominantly Pashtun. So we kind of merge them together and forget that there's a huge legislative, judicial difference between these two. FATA is a lot different than KP. So KP is a settled area that is under the Constitution of Pakistan, that has all the rights as any province would have. FATA is under a different law. So FATA is, the Constitution of Pakistan excludes FATA in terms of that legally or legislatively or even judicially. FATA is dealt under FCR, which is Frontiers Crimes Regulation. Which in itself, if a whole space is run by a crime regulation, that kind of is sketchy to begin with. So FATA is run under Frontier Crimes Regulation, which is over 100 years old. In 2011, it was reformed. However, it is still not a human law that could be accepted anywhere. So there's a lot of conversations around FCR, around reforming FCR. The government is looking into it too. Recently you would have heard the conversation around merging FATA with KP. So there is a lot of advocacy going on for...
Which you personally think it's not a good idea. Which I also personally think it's not a good idea.
Yes. So in my personal opinion, I don't think that it's a good idea, mainly because of where both the places stand.
Correct.
KP is more established than FATA. KP has flourished and keeps flourishing. Although some of our struggles in terms of terrorism or the backlash of terrorism is something that we both have faced alike. But overall, if you look at development, FATA is literally decades behind KP. So for FATA to speed up or for KP to wait for FATA to reach that point would, I think, be a disadvantage. If you look at it from in terms of efficiency or development, I think it would be a disadvantage for KP to wait for FATA, and it would be a disadvantage to the people of FATA to have to speed up so much to cover these decades in mere years to reach where KP is right now. So I feel like that, yes, maybe giving FATA that independence to do things at their pace and reach the inclusion is something that's needed.
Okay, so now tell us what is the difference? How many agencies are there in FATA? 7 agencies.
7.
Now, is this like an ISI or a raw agency? What does an agency mean?
No, so agency is basically it's bigger than a city. You could say it's a larger regional portion, but that agencies are mostly administrative sections.
It's like a county in the US, maybe?
It's more or less like a county. It's larger than a city, but it's mainly for administrative purposes. Because if you look at FATA, it's a thin stripe.
Are they ruled by the same person, or they ruled by anybody?
Every agency has its own PA, which is the political administrator.
And it's elected or selected?
No, it's a bureaucrat.
It's a bureaucrat?
It's a bureaucrat. And the PA is basically both the bureaucrat who runs the place and then the judiciary who makes the decisions. So our executive and judiciary is more or less
so
the same person.
the normal common person is not independent, like there's no democracy?
So there is right to vote. However, MNAs from FATA cannot amend laws in Pakistan.
Or in
So
FATA?
Or in FATA. So the laws in FATA are purely FCR, under FCR, and FCR is only amended by the president. Sorry?
Very confusing situation.
Yes, so FCR is only amended by the president of Pakistan. No one else can, unless the MNAs exclude an article from the constitution that excludes FATA. Otherwise, I don't think the MNAs have.
Recently, somebody messaged me that there would be no 4G in FATA. Is that true?
There would be what?
There would be no 4G in FATA. So now high-speed internet would be available on wireless. Is that true?
I don't think there is cellular service. So some part of FATA has cellular services, but not all of FATA has cellular services.
So no cellular service, right?
Yes. The places that have cellular services, I highly doubt that they would have 4G. But they might, considering that if they have cellular services, they might have access to 4G.
Somebody messaged me that it's not even allowed. They are not going to offer 4G because they blame that it's just for security reasons. They don't want to give 4G services in FATA.
That could be something, but I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Now you're saying that from South Waziristan. So South Waziristan is one of the 7 agencies?
Yes.
So can you name the 7 agencies? Because I definitely don't know them.
So there's North Waziristan, there's South Waziristan, there's Kuram Agency, there's Khyber Agency, Mohmand Agency, who else is there? There's Orakzai, there's a 7th one that I'm forgetting.
Okay.
But
and now when you say you're from South Waziristan, so imagine that, so it's another county, so one of the agencies, because agency is a weird name, I don't know why they named it agency. So how many people do you think would live in South Waziristan?
I am
a million?
So around 1 million maybe. And that's collective of, so South Waziristan is smaller than North Waziristan.
Okay.
North Waziristan would perhaps have more people than us. But South Waziristan would be around 500,000.
And it borders from Afghanistan?
Yes.
And is the border open?
It's porous.
It's
porous. So it's not exactly open. It was open initially.
They have barbed wires or no?
No, there aren't.
No, but so you can go across the border if you wanted.
There has been conversations around putting up barbed wires, but the border is so long that you can't. This is a lot of investment in barbed wires.
So,
but with the security situation, they've been talking about.